Breaking news in the George Zimmerman case. This just in. The judge has issued an important ruling on key evidence in the trial. HLN legal correspondent Jean Casares is in Sanford, Florida. Jean, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
What did the judge rule?
All right, this just came down minutes ago. We received it, and the judge has ruled, and this document was on the gzlegalcase.com, but this is a filed document, that the expert testimony from the screaming on the 911 tape will not come before the jury. The state's experts saying that they tentatively believe that it's Trayvon Martin's voice will not come before the jury. This is a huge decision because the prosecution had wanted their experts to say that whoever was screaming and crying for their life in fear of imminent death, that was tentatively Trayvon Martin. Now, the judge does say that this does not mean that the 911 tape cannot be played in court. It can. It will be played in court, we believe, for the jury to hear those screams, and lay witnesses, the parents of Trayvon Martin, the parents of George Zimmerman, will be able to say who they believe was crying out because they knew the voices and know the voices of George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin. Let me read you one part of this opinion right here. The judge writes, "There is no competent evidence that the scientific techniques used by the state's experts are generally accepted in the scientific field. There is no evidence to establish their scientific techniques have been tested and found reliable. The court accepts the opinion of the defense experts that reliable comparison of normal speech to the screams in the 911 call is not possible." So that's the heart of the opinion right there, Natasha.
So is it safe to assume then that the defense, that they can have whoever they want testify as far as a voice analyst or anything?
As lay witnesses, they can't have expert testimony.
Okay. Well, very interesting
but
development.
You know what, Natasha, it's a good point what you're saying. She is disallowing the expert testimony of the state's witnesses. But remember, this motion was formed around, it was by the defense, asking that the state witnesses be excluded. But at this point, it's a null and void point for the defense to put on any experts because the judge is saying you cannot determine whose voice it is.
And Jean, I mean, the defense is arguing this is a self-defense case. Would you see this as a huge victory for them?
It is a huge victory for the defense, no question about it, because this is what the defense wanted. The defense wanted the jury to listen to that tape and for the jury to determine whose voice it may be or may not be. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the defense fights to have lay testimony on whose voice it is, because it's going to be a wash, because you're going to have the parents of Trayvon Martin say, I know that's Trayvon's voice, although Tracy Martin, the father, initially said, I don't believe it's my son's voice. You're going to have then the father of George Zimmerman say, as he said before in court, it is my son's voice. So the defense may just solely want the jury to determine that issue of fact right there.
Yeah, a very interesting development. Jean Casares, as always, thank you so much for your insight. Appreciate it. And opening statements, you bet. And opening statements in the George Zimmerman trial, they begin this Monday. HLN's going to be there covering every angle. Jean Casares is all over this as well. So keep it right here on HLN for that. Opening statements in the Zimmerman trial start Monday, and this is the place to see it here on HLN, so make sure you watch live coverage right here starting at 9 a.m. Eastern, Monday.